Hello, and welcome to another great episode of Let Me Tell You Something. I am your host, as always, Deldon Autry. So today is, well, by the time y'all see this, it's going to be a while. But I just came back from Atlanta Pride, and I had the absolute best time. And I'm going to tie in my ATL Pride experience to today's episode. So I've said numerous times on this platform that I am chronically online. I am of a generation that was raised by the internet. I am always online. I am always plugged into what is going on in these interweb streets, internet streets. So, who better to talk about this than me? But I will always, always, always emphasize that real life is better than online. And to be in Atlanta for Pride Weekend amongst the people and to see so many people expressing love and community and just joy was so beautiful to see. So often, especially with the rise of internet culture and just everyone being chronically online and everyone just always spewing their every opinion about everything 24/7, 365, we sometimes get lost in that we miss out on real life, which is why today's episode is called Go Touch Some Grass, because that's what I was doing this weekend. Touching grass, being amongst the people, enjoying community and fellowship and friendship and getting drunk and getting turned. I'm just kidding. I don't get drunk because I'm not out there like that. But I did have some drinks. And on this episode, Go Touch Some Grass, let's just kick things off. We need to get off of these. When I was watching the Pride Parade, see, can't even talk. There were several people in the parade, and they were like this. And I'm thinking, baby, you on a float. You amongst the people. We supposed to be celebrating, fellowshipping, and you on the phone? Now, granted, I don't know. Somebody could have been dying. I don't know what they were doing. But the point is, with all this commotion and festivities going on, we in the phone. I'll never forget. Well, not forget. I'll never. Well, let me just leave that alone because I can't get my sense together. What I was going to say is, I always think it is so wild to see two people, and I have been guilty of this myself, so I'm going to include myself in this conversation, to see two people out to dinner together, and both of them are on the phone. What was the point of going out if we just going to be on the phone? Our mouth doesn't work. We can't talk to each other. And I feel because we are all chronically online, we are all tuned into the digital realm, we miss so many crucial real life moments and real life interactions because we are glued to our phone. We are glued to social media, especially when people are in the club or in the bar. Everyone is Snapchatting. If they still do that, is that still cool? I don't really know because I was never Snapchatter. Instagramming, TikToking. Everyone is always in the phone when real life is happening around us. I promise you, if the Titanic would have sank today, we would have saw it in 4K because everybody would be drowning, recording. I've seen people get in car accidents, and the first thing they do is grab their phone to record and put it on TikTok. Baby, what? we try to make sure that we get it for the gram, we get it for the TikTok. That is insane to me. So we need to deplug, go outside, and touch some grass. I was in Piedmont Park, having a good time, seeing all the fits, seeing all the men's, the women's, the theys, having a great time. And I think when we are plugged into reality, it helps us think better. And it doesn't lead us down paths of WTF, which I'm about to get into because there have been certain topics that have really just reminded me and emphasized to me that we need to log out. And the calls coming from inside the house. I'm gonna need for y'all to log out, babies. My sweet babies, in the words of Monique. Let's start it out. T Squeezy, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift released her new album, Life of a Showgirl. By the time you see this, it'll be about 2-3 weeks. But anyway, she released her album, Life of a Showgirl, and the reception to the album has been mixed. There are people now. For me, in my household, I am a diet Swiftie, which means I am not a diehard Swiftie. I'm a diet Swiftie. I enjoy the music, but I'm not one of her main people. And for some reason, people's dislike of the album and the songwriting has somehow shifted the conversation into Taylor Swift is now racist and MAGA. Now, I have made it very clear in my real life and maybe on this podcast, I don't really know. But one thing you will not catch me doing is defending white folks against racism allegations, because I don't do that. Period. So this is not a defense of Taylor Swift. This is more so of like, if you're going to say someone is racist, at least come with some receipts to be like, this is how she's racist. I'm like, okay, yeah, girl, you a Klansman. But this is not that, from what I have seen. I also want to emphasize that I am never one to overtalk or speak over or speak for black women. So if the black women are saying this and this is how they feel, that is their feelings, and I have nothing to do with that. And actually, I really haven't even seen that many black people saying this. It's actually been the white girls who've been saying this. So Taylor Swift's fiance, Travis Kelce, used to date, is known to have dated black women, in particular Maya Bunbury and Kayla Nicole. That was his previous ex, who I think he was with for many, many years. Both of them black women. And it's been like this discourse of Taylor is dissing Kayla, and because on her song Opalite, which I didn't even know what Opalite was. Apparently Opalite is man-made opal, and Travis Kelce's birthstone is an opal. And she has a line that's like, onyx nights, now the skies are opalite. And somehow people are correlating the onyx night to Kayla, who is black. And I don't get the correlation, because Taylor is using the metaphor of onyx nights, I'm assuming, and from what I've known her songwriting to be, about feeling depressed, and depression usually means dark nights, nighttime, and then, happiness is sunshine and bright lights and all that. So I feel like that literary device is pretty clear cut, but somehow people are trying to make this into, she's saying he was miserable with the black girl and now he's found the great white hope, Taylor Swift. I don't know how we got there. And then there's another line about Taylor saying, I'm not a bad bee, I'm not a savage, and somehow we've correlated to her dissing Kayla Nicole, which, if you are a Swiftie or just a casual listener, Taylor has always positioned herself as the girl who's not the cheerleader, who's not the cool girl. She wears, she wears high heels, I wear sneakers, she's check out, and I'm on the bleachers. Taylor has always been, I'm not the cool girl. So that line to me, in my interpolation of the song, is, I'm not this, I'm not the cool girl, I'm not a savage, I'm not a bad bee, because we live in bad bee culture. So that's her saying she's not that. And I don't know why y'all want that lady to be a racist so bad. Y'all want her to be a MAGA so bad. And then her saying on Wishlist that she can't wait to have a neighborhood full of kids that look like her fiance. Y'all saying she's trying to spread white supremacy. Her fiance is white. And she is white. So yes, she would have a bunch of white children because she is a white woman having children with a white man. I would think that if you weren't going to have children, you would also want your children to look like, well, I mean, unless you're ugly, I don't know, because, y'all be saying they look like, children look like they're dead, and y'all say that. But anyway, I would assume that you would want your children to favor the person that you are with. So I don't get how we got here. Now, again, there are plenty of things to be questioned about Taylor Swift about. Being a billionaire, for one. I feel like billionaires shouldn't exist. I feel like being a billionaire is unethical, especially in these times. There's no reason why people should have $500 trillion, billion, and we got homeless people. That's just my thing. You could talk about her activism. She picks and chooses. But if you're going to make these claims and say this is what is going on, back it up. And I'm just not seeing how we are getting here. And I think one of the things about being so tied into the digital realm so often, not being in real life so much, the brain gets a little foggy. Because the fact that y'all have taken a dislike of an album, which I get it. To me, it's not her best album. Now y'all saying that, her songwriting, y'all are calling into question her entire artistry. And it's like, it's never really that serious. But because we are so interwoven into this digital age, we not touching grass enough, everything becomes something. And in the words of Carisha, y'all are always trying to do something, make something. And I get it. Sometimes I fall into it too. I'm always, I'm the king of making something out of something and something out of nothing. So I understand. But what this past weekend has taught me, when you are outside and you are amongst the people and you are in real life, none of that actually matters. And I'm going to continue to tell you why it doesn't matter after this quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Hi, if you've enjoyed what you've heard so far, let's keep this party rolling over across social media platforms. Follow the Let Me Tell You Something Instagram account, Let Me Tell You Something, LEMMETELL, the letter USUMTHING. Follow me over on TikTok at Deldinautry, DELDRIANAUTRY, or on X at Latristan1, LATRISTAN, the number 1. Now let's get back to more of Let Me Tell You Something. All right, so we are back. So, like I said, being amongst the people is very important, and I want to get into my next topic. Something else that has really made me, well, before I get into that, one of the benefits of being amongst the people and being in real life is I feel like you have a better sense of how life actually is. You would think, just from using the Taylor Swift of it all as an example, you would think everybody and their mama hates Life of a Showgirl. And that everyone hates that album, because that's all I've seen on my algorithm is people hate it, people hate it, people hate it. But guess what? That album has sold 4 million copies in its first week. It has broken the record for the highest selling album of all time since they started tracking albums. So it would appear to me that somebody liked the album. It would appear to me that just because the echo chambers of the internet is telling you one thing, that is not reflective of real life. When, let's take Pride for existence, we see so much vitriol towards the LGBTQ plus community day after day after day by online people, legislative, government. But when you are actually amongst the community and you see the love and the fellowship and the power of community, that is real life. That is what is important. Not what people are saying on the corners of the internet, what people are saying to try to fearmonger. None of that is important. What is important is real life. And for me, as someone who is chronically online and I was on social media, I had to tap out. I have been on a Twitter or X break, mainly in part because of if you don't know, a couple weeks ago, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B got into it. Now, while I said I am a diet Swiftie, I am a true Barb. Onika Tanya Ross Petty is my queen. I stand behind her. I ride behind her. Don't come, and the worst of Candy Bros, that's my mama. She can have whatever she wants. But I'm also not delusional. And I think that my queen is another one who needs to put the phone down and needs to go outside and live her life. Because while whatever she is going through, I am not going to speculate, because another thing about being online, we don't know these people and we barely know each other in real life. So therefore, why should we go online speculating about people's mental health, people's alleged substance abuse problems, people's home lives when we do not know them? So y'all are saying Nikki's on this, Nikki's doing that. You don't know that lady. I don't know that lady. So I don't know what she got going on over there. But what I do know is, ma'am, I think you need to log out the phone and go live your life, because you are a queen. You are super talented. You are beautiful. And I believe in even though I don't know her, I do believe in my heart that she is a good person. I think that she needs to go live her life, and whatever it is that you have going on, ma'am, I think that it would be better served in probably the courtroom instead of on the Twitter streets. And I think that display with you and Cardi B was absolutely disgusting on both sides. And to get on the both sides of it all, I'm usually not a both sides kind of person, but you cannot sit up here and tell me how disgusting Nicki Minaj was for bringing up culture Cardi B's daughter, which she was, and not ever clock the fact that Cardi B has actually done the exact same thing, talked about people's children, wished death on people, called people monkeys and gorillas, all of these things that are Googleable. But y'all give her a pass because you like her, you think she's funny. So again, y'all are never on, and this is even me being a bar. This is just me being common sense. Y'all are never on the sense of, oh, well, she did this because X, Y, and Z, but you did it because you're evil. And that's why I'm saying we all need to log out. And when they were saying back and forth to each other, oh, we're gonna fight, drop the addy. Let me tell you something. In real life, rational, sane adults don't fight each other. We are living in a time of baddie shot o'clock. In real life, if you try to attack people and drop addies, you're going to jail. You are going to whole prison. Alcatraz, Rikers. Well, I don't know if you're going there. You're going to jail. So this idea that two grown women, mothers, you got Cardi B, who is going to be a mother of four, and Nicki Minaj, who is a 42-year-old, 41-year-old woman with a child, talk about dropping addies, and you have people encouraging that. So when she see her, she going to beat her up. Are we okay? The answer is no. Why are we encouraging violence when someone could potentially lose their freedom and their life over a Twitter beef? This is what I mean when I say it's time to lock out the computer. It's time to unplug the iPad. It's time to put down the phone. It is time to go outside. It is time to go to church. It is time to go to somewhere. It's time to go to Dairy Queen. Anywhere else but online. Baby, have a Frosty. Have a Blizzard. Have a McCafe. Have a something. But being online encouraging grown people to fight over Twitter, I'm sorry. There is nothing that you can say to me that is going to make me come out my body enough to risk my freedom, my sanity, because you said something. Baby, the Lord's going to handle you. Now, somebody who has, there have been moments where, the word's been hitting me. And, things have happened. But that is not the way to be. And I'm telling you, for someone who has been through it, that is not to be. That is not the way to go. Nothing anyone says to you should make you come out of yourself that much to where you would risk your sanity, baby, your peace of mind, your freedom. They feed you in prison? Baloney. Bed bug. There was a man who was eaten by bed bugs in prison. And you want that to be you? Not shout out to that man. Sorry to that man and his family. The prison system needs work. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, that was disgusting. And so, yeah. So nothing that someone says should cause you to act that way. And I feel like we are always online. It is not normal to have an opinion about any and everything. It is not normal to continue to spew hatred in the name of a laugh and a kiki. Now, to my next point, Jennifer Lopez. Y'all have been on that lady's neck for 20, 30 years. At the end of the day, if you think the lady can't sing, leave the lady alone. That lady don't bother nobody, from what I know. And y'all will literally sit up here and laugh at Kiki. But let somebody laugh at Kiki about you, then it's the issue. If you had to be subjected to the same level of vitriol that y'all spew at other people, half of y'all will have a mental breakdown, because a lot of y'all are cowards, and a lot of y'all don't have a backbone, and a lot of y'all are spineless and cannot actually handle even the slightest bit of pressure on you, but somehow can feel big, bad, and bold. Shoulders up in your neck. They can real brolic that you can talk to anybody any kind of way because you're behind a computer screen. Baby, lock out the computer and find you something to do. A hobby. I know for me, something that I have taken up, I love to get lost in television. I love to go out and swim. Things that are just frivolous and fun and not just making me feel like I'm all immersed. Even with the TV. I know I love a good TV, but even then, I need to go touch a little grass and get at the TV. So I go for a walk. I go for a drive. I go to, not Dairy Queen, Lord, what I was going to say? I go get me a milkshake or something, even though I should not be drinking milkshakes because I may have a touch of lactose intolerantness, but that's neither here nor there. We need to find more to do in real life because real life is what matters. This internet stuff, this phone, when we at the dinner with our homegirls and our families and our brothers and sisters, whoever, and we out in a phone instead of having real conversation, that is an issue. When we are at an event or at a concert, like Beyonce said, you sitting up here taping and I'm literally right here in your face, that is a problem. And we're going to solve that problem after this break. And we're going to wrap this thing up and drive this plane on home. Let me tell you something. All right, so I'm back. So let's land the plane. I we need to recalibrate. We need to get back on track. Put the phone down. When you're at dinner, turn the phone over. Now I get it. People have kids. People have businesses. They have things going on. But I feel like we could all spare some time to decompress, to unplug, to have a conversation with each other. I feel like people don't know how to talk to each other in real life because we so used to talking to the screen. There is nothing worse. Like when people be on Instagram live screaming and hollering at each other, screaming and hollering through the phone. Baby, ain't nobody in that room but you. And you screaming at a phone screen. You sitting up there with a living, breathing person and you looking at a phone. Especially in a time now with the rise of AI, we are losing that human connection. There is nothing like a human connection. They have these new Lyft and Uber rides, the Waymo where there's no driver. Even if the driver don't say nothing to me, I at least know that there's a human being there that I could potentially interact with for a short period of time and have a conversation with. And I would much rather have that than to be lost in this time of machines and the digital age. And we have so many ways to connect to each other, but it feels like we're more disconnected than ever before. Ooh, that was a bar. We need to get back to togetherness. We're all in this together. Shout out to High School Musical. We have to come together and really enjoy real life while we can. Tomorrow is never promised. And while we up here in a phone, in a internet, in a TV, we are missing out on key, crucial moments. Go call your people. Go to dinner. Have a good night in. Check on your friends. Check on your family. Find a hobby. Go outside for 5 minutes and smell the fresh air. At the end of a long work day, have a glass of wine. Do something that doesn't have you constantly plugged in. I know for me, one thing I could do is not checking my phone first thing when I wake up, filling my brain with all this junk. When I first opened my eyes, when I was blessed with another day by the Lord, I am just like y'all. I am trying to unplug. I am trying to be in real life and be present in these moments because these moments are what's important. So go touch some grass. Go touch your neighbor. Go have a little fun. Be outside. Because outside is lit. And it's lit in real life, not behind a screen. So this has been Let Me Tell You Something. Hopefully by the time you see this, you have seen our first interview. And I would like y'all to give me your thoughts about that. I'm trying to continue to build the brand. So we're working on a few things. If things come through, they do, and they don't. No, that's life. But I'm really excited for where we're going. And I want y'all to continue to be on this ride with me. And you know what? I know I just did all that hooping and hollering about being outside, but you know what? You better not miss no episodes of this. You could be outside and touching grass, but you also need to go touch this podcast and help a brother out. Anywho, I love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.